game. If you lose this one, it's out. So right now is the time for your Broodmother last picks and whatever. Not from Team Empire, at least they're gonna go with a Darkseer and a Disruptor.
So the first thing that comes to mind there, seeing these two heroes, obviously, is team fight. Team fight, team fight, team fight. Darkseer, Disruptor, two of the best
Chase.
heroes to do that. Chase as well, with the glimpse back and a surge, also a lot of mobility, a lot of team fight control. So yeah, you've got all this cool jazz. Then you maybe add on top of that another hero that combos up well with Darkseer in the early laning phase. Earthspirit comes to mind, Spirit Break even, all of these kind of cool heroes that can carry the Iron Shell really well. And then you have a pretty good recipe here to propel you into the game. But Vega Squadron, picking up one of the heroes that's it's actually better against that than most others. The Juggernaut with that inbuilt magic reading.
A very classic combo here. Jug CM can kill any solo offlaner basically. Especially if for the Darkseer too, if the Surge is out, you're toast.
Yep.
So they will probably have a lot of space for Roamer, and I find it interesting here that Juggernaut, once again, is a hero that can fight, but he is also really good at pushing. And Empire have full-on fights again. So far it seems like the pattern is holding.
Yeah. Definitely have to want to think about some counter push, perhaps something to take care of these creep waves. Otherwise, they'll just be kept alive longer and longer with that healing ward up and running. So, yeah, 3 picks left to go still for either team.
Something fun to notice, by the way, Vega Squadron banned the clockwork in their first game. They let it through in the second, and it was first picked by Empire. And we really saw Ghostic do work with that thing. So Vega is right back to it. It's like, no, you're not getting that thing again.
But then again, he does get its Darkseer now. So it's also one of the heroes that he can excel on for sure, if memory serves correctly. So, we'll see.
So Spirit Breaker also down. That's another gap closer.
Yeah.
And Empire deals with mostly with offlaners, and they have been banning the Terror Blade. I wonder where that comes from because I was looking at their at Vega's recent games, and the Terrorblade is in only like 2 of them. So I wonder if Empire
Yeah.
knows something that we don't.
I have seen the real you play Terrorblade though a couple of times. It was just a matter of it being so good that all the teams ban it out against him every single time. So, and it is one of these heroes, that's can be at times hard to punch early on because of this enormous amount of armor that he starts with for some reason, and that can just straight up win you the late game by default in a lot of drafts. That the CS region especially goes for these days, and Empire in particular, right? We've seen how aggressive they want to be, and how their regard for the late game is limited in that sense, just from a draft perspective. So if you then have to go up against the Terrorblade, it just adds a lot of pressure on top of you. So maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
probably
something
a
else
good
inside.
ban versus
Yeah,
their style. There's the Earth
it
Spirit.
is. Yeah.
Empire once again have so many ways to engage across a distance, and we're only 3 picks in.
Yeah.
So Vega, what you gonna do? Are you gonna be more defensive, or are you gonna go with some initiation of your own? They really had too little of it last game.
Well,
Let's
still have a
see
lot of
if
time to
they
think about
switch
it if
it
they
up.
need it. 2 minutes of the reserve time left. So, but yeah, we'll just start Oyster really.
Right, with the CM, you can run a lot of roamers. That's one of the great things about her. You can run basically anything in the 4 position because they are not going to be lacking in mana, and you can take care of a safe laner, especially Juggernaut, all on your own. So they might want to do something like a pressure dual lane. Ooh, there's a guy that can make good use of the mana.
Oh yeah. So I was actually thinking along the lines of Night Stalker, perhaps as well. Also a fairly tanky hero early on, so you can withstand some of that Iron Shell harassment. So you have more time to just walk away or turn things around. Later on, you have that vision advantage, obviously, at nighttime.
And the single target silence is so good against stuff like Earth Spirit and Disruptor.
Yep.
Darkseer himself as well. You get the silence on the guy, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
He can't run away, he can't punch you back.
Granted, though, Darkseid, he gets some pretty ridiculous right-click talents. So I've seen this
Yeah.
right-clicky Darkseid once or twice, I want to say, with like Echo Saber and stuff like that. That was quite hilarious. But it's more likely that he'll eventually just pick up a Guardian Greaves and then he can purge off the silence. But all of those are hypotheticals for now, as Empire pick up the Templar Assassin. So going back to that particular aspect of the Game 1 draft.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
They have a lot of disables and a lot of speed right now,
5 seconds
so
remaining.
she should have no problem
yeah,
getting in range of people to kill him.
in Game 1, they kind of lack this control component in some ways. This game, though, you have Disruptive, Darkseid, of Earth, but all of these are pretty good at screening for Templar Assassin and keeping people in check for her to just have that space within a team fight, unless they initiate it on themselves.
I do hope they stack some Ancients for him this time, though.
Oh yeah.
That was notably lacking in the previous, like in the first game. So if they don't do that, like he's gotta have a good start. So I'm thinking this Earthshaker is going to be for support, but I'd kind of love it if it was offlane. I'm gonna
Still
leave
an
it up in
option.
the air for now.
That's the Ember Spirit here. Pretty standard matchup against a TA. Something that we see a lot, but it's slightly TA favored just because you can get the Glaive damage in that Ember Spirit can't really do anything against.
5 seconds remaining.
The flip side
At
is you can
least
burn through refraction, so it's like
they really needed someone who could do that. So
Radiant's
Empire
team
say that's a 4 Earthshaker, we're gonna take out the Bat Rider. Like when they had to pick one form of initiation before they got the Bat, so they're like, all right, you find something else now for your, well, the Earthshaker can engage from a distance.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
the Ember Spirit has the spirits in, of course, but it's
5
not
seconds
quite as
remaining.
safe.
Radiant team
So
pick.
they gotta find some way to initiate these fights better. And Team Empire needs a safe laner, but Jug is picked and Lifestealer is banned, so they don't get to have one of the
10
built-in
seconds
immunity
remaining.
ones.
yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Now
And they have a full minute to decide. They'll probably
Reserve
take this
flight.
entire time to finalize their strategy, because at this point there's no real pressuring Empire for time anymore.
they go back to something like an Abaddon. Just pick up another super annoying hero to deal with and annoying hero to kill for TA.
Abaddon could work really well actually, as long as he's not the one getting silenced, he can take many of these stuns and disables off. It would make them very melee heavy again though, and no initiation whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe a Sand King would be better. Or
10
let's see what
seconds
else is left
remaining.
in the pool.
Legion Commander.
Ah, Legion Commander. Okay, you have the
Dire
Dispel
team pick.
to work with, just like with the Abaddon,
Mm-hmm.
but you add a lot of extra control. I mean, especially for the Templar Assassin. TA is a hero that really relies on being able to have two sets of reflection charges going into a fight, and being able to blink around on
10
back of that,
seconds
use
remaining.
meld and all of that jazz, right? You
Weave in and out of the fight,
exactly,
yes.
right?
Seconds
You have to
remaining.
be able to stay alive because once they burn through that refraction, you're actually a very squishy
Reserve
target. So if a Legion Commander can find a duel to start it off with, can get rid of the refraction, and then you can get the kill very, very quickly. And then a lot of the damage potential for Team Empire is actually down the drain already because beyond the
10 seconds
TA,
remaining.
all they have is this one stop combo between Darkseid Disruptor Earth Spirit, which is pretty good in the mid game, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of magic damage between the Static Storm and your Magnetize alone. Um, but ultimately, that's gonna fade away in terms of effectiveness. up against some of these tanky heroes, the Flame Guard and the Juggernaut Spin, the Healing Ward potentially staying alive. And
Well, that's why
Yeah.
Empire go in with the late game security for the last
Yeah.
pick. It is. I think I like Empire's draft more, mostly so because Vega, as we've seen, has the tendency to group up. And these big team fight ults with some right click from FN on top can do some real work.
Yep.
And Vega
10 seconds
can get the
remaining.
jump now, but they're once again very reliant on Afterlife getting a good
5
blink up, and
seconds
then
remaining.
Yep.
on top of that now he also has to get a couple of jewels up, because otherwise he's just not going to be able to stand against the counter initiation that Team Empire has.
Oh yeah, I do agree.
So
A lot of that's got to be down to Afterlife, who was shut down completely in the last game. So it was one of the reasons that Vega actually, got beaten as hard as they did. Essentially, that his battle order just couldn't really find the impact. This game in a similar position here, but it's gonna be down to Team Empire to once again put him into that position in the first place. And there's some good combos once again to do that with. Darkseer with the Iron Shell on top of the Earth Spirit is a good start for the early laning phase and these early gank attempts, and then vacuum into Kinetic Field, Static Storm, Magnetize, and the Stones.
gotta say one thing though, Vega are way more likely to actually fight this time and not focus down towers so single-mindedly. They have a lineup that's way better at answering this aggression
Prepare for
from
battle.
Empire. So I hope they feel comfortable with that. It's always a question of you do something just a little bit different from the third game, but are you going to be operating smoothly when you just did the first two games in a different style? Have you practiced this?
So for these teams that they are on top of the game right now, that they know what they're doing. Because once again, this is game 3, the loser's out, the winner will move on. The Epicenter qualifiers. My name is Dragon Drop, I'm joined by Kips. And we do see these early shenanigans trying to scope out where the walls are at from both teams.
30 seconds to battle.
Each one has one in the mid lane actually here. I'm not sure if they saw each other planting that.
I don't think so. Especially the Earth Spirit can be very fast at putting the defensive ward down. And they hold one on the Disruptor still. So they're looking to see what exactly they're gonna have on the top lane here.
The battle
The Earth Spirit
begins.
is going to move top to block up the wave, I think. Is he gonna? Yeah, there we go. He's gonna shrine up immediately. That's pretty clever.
Yep. Not really losing too much and using these shrines early, so you can put yourself right back up to max mana. Still have these
And he
two
doesn't have
switches
to
available.
walk back. He can block twice if he wants to, indeed. And that is going to help Afterlife a lot. I mean, Poshka is he going to start mid? He does have the Orb of Venom, but he blocks the camp and then he moves towards the top lane. So they are committed to giving Afterlife problems again.
They can
even
chase
though...
him out here, it'd be quite the accomplishment, because you have Thunderstrike, which is annoying, sure, but he has plenty of health points to eat through that. He's gonna get his level 2 off this unless there's something nice happening. It's a good start for him, and Pushka.
You see him start
like,
soft jungling?
yeah, he finds the role now. Couple body blocks, but King R once again only with the Thunderstrike. He's not exactly the hero that you want to combo up the Earth Spirit with. I'd rather see him down bottom actually.
The Juggernaut Darkseer matchup is pretty classic actually. It's depends a bit on how the Juggernaut uses his spins. You gotta use them to get these, especially the creep waves when there's a double Iron Shell, you gotta get them down as fast as possible.
Yep.
But you get into mana problems, and that's where the CM helps out. The CM just gets to start jungle because this lane is pretty even, and you don't actually kill the Darkseer all that easily.
You have to try and walk around the surge, get the frostbite off just as he surges, and then can maybe get the kill, but maybe not. Frostbite level 1, also not exactly long duration on heroes, and then again you rather spend your time in the jungle. Mid lane though, there's the roll in. They find it on G. He has a DD rune to work with Natus Vincere to try and shore that up here and give him enough space to fall back into safety. Now there it is, the frostbite on the TA. No more refraction, but not enough follow-up damage either from the side of Vega. Both teams poking at each other, mid laners dropped down to no health whatsoever, so they're just trying up. And it's as if nothing has ever happened.
That is a win for Vega though, because they get to use the Shrine on 3, and Silent, yeah, he's ready to just go again.
Events
He
actually
is
being left
level
alone.
3.
So if they can find the initiation here on the back of the smoke, the Fissure catches him on the wrong side though.
That's a shame. He is very dead if they don't block themselves off like that. And this tri lane top is... They have chased Afterlife back, but he is level 3.5. He's doing
FN.
just fine.
Gee, he's actually just walking him down the flame guard. It's gonna expire now though. And another Fissure just to give him a bit of a love tap back. And it's actually forcing him all the way back to base because the shrine down bottom, it's already been used by Ghostic as well by the looks of it.
And now they put me push guy mid.
We'll get his level 2 off of this at least, so next time he rotates somewhere it's gonna be more effective having that stone, that stun available.
I'm surprised he didn't have it already.
Yeah.
But I think the pull was blocked before.
There it is. And
Alright,
the roll coming through, turn us around, this is where the damage comes through from FN. They'll get the first blood. This
Yeah,
is,
that puts FN right back into his lane.
This is this duality of a matchup like this up against the Ember Spirit, where you can't rely on Flame God to keep you safe. The upside is, sure, you can keep it up the entire time to do damage, but the downside
Look at
is
Ghostic.
you're not tanky at all, and yeah, he's also being punished right now. I really like this too. G dies, and then you make the rotation to a different lane to get a kill. Obviously, Ghostic kind of inviting that,
Radiant's middle tower is
being
under
that far forward. But it's something that the other team doesn't necessarily expect. So you get the free kill to get you right back up where you want it to be.
I think it's a little bit lacking in respect that Ghostic is just all the way out there with no vision on the supports from Vega and an Ember Spirit who is... He can just come in there. He did just die.
Top lane, the roll will miss. Afterlife is gonna get some help too. Sioma as well as Silent coming through. They'll find King R with one more punch. And then that's the rest of Empire's kill potential gone down the drain, if there ever was any to begin with. Afterlife, level 4, almost level 5, very hard hero to just pick off.
He is pressuring the Spectre back constantly with this overwhelming odds spam.
Yep.
And Spectre's actually going back to base, so this top lane where they dedicated 3 heroes to try and
Dire's top
win this
tower
lane, and
is
they
under
gave up a
attack.
lot of possible momentum on bot and mid for that, and they just lost it really hard. Creep waves on the tower, it's gonna get pushed in very hard, and this Spectre is not going to have a safe space to farm ever.
They might get Silent here, Miposhkin and King R. Two sides of the river. Catch them with a kinetic field. The roll will actually miss somehow. And it's gonna be down to King R, but maybe Roshan.
Oh, the kick!
Oh no. I think Roshan would have gotten the deny off if Sioma didn't throw down the Fissure. So, slight misplay. So that gave the space for Miposhkin to throw the kick and snag the kill away. So, very interesting series of events there as he rolls it again. Quite connected Afterlife. Here's Sioma looking for the Fissure and he finds it. That's another right click in, another death, another kill. for this offlane Legion commander, who is having a whale of a time. And they also create a lot of space for the other lanes. Ryu up at 48 CS. Middle lane also more space for G. So overall, Vega, they're getting the better end of this early game, aren't they?
They're really coming out of on top of this. And they prevented Silent from getting an aggressive ward down earlier, but they don't really need a ward there if you can just run around the top tower like this.
Dire's bottom
It's
tower is under
There's like
attack.
4 observer
Empire are locked
wards.
in now.
Do you see this? There's 4 observer wards in his top lane. 2 from each team. Giving pretty much identical vision. But no, the smoke up there from Empire. They do have Ghost Stick. They bring him in here with the extra Iron Shot on Miposhka. This is the combo that we've been talking about in the draft. There's a lot of damage potential coming out if he can just find the roll in. There it is onto Afterlife. They'll connect. He still has a heal to throw out. Plus, the Evolving wants to try and turn this here, but nice little vacuum back.
The CM was just a
figure
bit
it
too
out,
far
yeah.
back to help out there. So it pays off. Like, if this was my team, I would have told them to abandon this lane. It's like, to avoid getting locked up in this exchange over here. Because that's basically what's happening right now. They always have to be top. But they are taking a really big stack here, unless
It's
Shioma
being
is gonna
contested.
steal
There's 1 or 2 Iron Shots gone. So it actually took quite a bit of damage here, but eventually G will take these big creeps away from Empire. This actually hurts quite a bit, unless they can turn this into something. No level 6 yet on the top, very, very far from that actually. So now, it's Afterlife through short to duel on top of him. And nothing to help out, so Empire just, I don't know, asleep at the wheel here.
They dedicate all these heroes to top, and then the Spectre wasn't actually farming. She was still sitting off to the side, waiting for the fight to start happening. When it does, Vega just bursts him down. And that's a lot of networks that he just misses out on. So they get less than nothing in return. And now they spread out. They're abandoning now. But the damage has already been done, the bot tower is gone. FN has at least gotten more out of the middle lane than G.
Yep.
But this Spectre is completely shut down.
And that's gonna end up being a problem if you remember game 1. I mean, if N also had a very quiet start as well. He got a kill, he's been farming, but it hasn't been enough at all. Empire need a little bit more going their way. They need their ultimates, they need their combo to get online between Ghost Stick, Miposhka as well as the Disruptor. And that's when they can start taking fights properly. Until then, they have to settle for these kind of pickoffs. But Sioma, ready with his own spells, not going to be enough to keep him safe though. Especially with Chappie also making a rotation, getting the kill for himself. Meanwhile though, G finds the kill mid on a solo Disruptor.
I was watching that. King R was just standing there for a while. I think he was looking at top, and the Ember Spirit just walked up to him and got a couple of clicks in before he even realized.
Yeah.
So Disruptor glimpses him, but he just remnants right back in and it's done.
Well, maybe I'm just looking at top. They need to TP in for this. Are they responding more? Let's just go free kill and then, oops, I actually got picked off. Well, mistakes were made. These are mistakes that you can't actually afford to make here. Baiting with the scan here to try and figure out where Empire's head is smoked up. Between Sioma and G, and FN, that's a great kill if they can get it. G walks forward, and Horn comes out. Chappie wants to try and help, but they almost get Ember's Bird actually, but the Acro Slam comes out, locking them down further. Not Chappie, dropping lower and lower. The duel though goes on the Dark Seer. Well, Sioma, well, going to get the kill for himself, but the Thunderstrike not quite enough to bring him down, but the dagger will be. Chappie somehow still alive, silent, walking close and closer, but not quite close enough for the frostbite.
Dire's bottom
So he'll be able to, Chappie will be able to make his way up to the top. And the glimpse alone will not be enough from King. Ah, another dagger! Oh!
Hey,
tower is under attack.
That'd have been enough. That's a max level dagger at like 200 health. Would have been close either way.
that's another jewel win for Afterlife.
Overall, Vega
But
still
they-
come out ahead of that exchange for sure.
They're gonna get the star
Dire's
now
top
too.
tower
But
is under
that was
attack.
very risky. I think right now Empire need to find their
Dire's top
advantage
tower
in
has
the
fallen.
counter initiation. So Vega go on someone, they overextend, you glimpse someone back in and you hit him with a combo. I think that's a good way to win any fights right now. But they didn't really get it off back there. Like Chappie only escapes on a hope and a prayer, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, if your counter initiation is a Spectre Haunt and nothing else, it's not exactly what you had in mind with drafting this lineup. Still have only the level 5s and the supports, and Ghost Stick will start
Need those
putting
ultimates
points
up.
into the wall soon enough.
Dire's middle tower is under
But
attack.
right now, there's not much point
Look
anyway.
at this double ward. Just look at it. This is not
Radiant's
actually.
bottom tower
Sometimes
is
people
under
say, "Oh,
attack.
that's an accident,"
Dire's
but
middle tower is under
very
attack.
often teams actually put 2 wards down because if one gets 2 warded like
Yep.
this, they're gonna think like, "All right, we're in the clear. They have no more vision here."
Yep.
And then you can jump them anyway. So second ward
Dire's
just
middle tower has fallen.
gets to stay up. Does he suspect it's there though?
Radiant's bottom tower is under
He's been
attack.
kind of
Still
walking
walking
that
around.
way, and as if he had another Sentry Ward and would want to place it down, but he's actually not holding on to one.
Oh.
So maybe not. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Now, okay, top lane I think is where the action's at. I don't know.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
What was that haunt about? Well, I
Island?
get the glimpse back to the other side, but of course the spin is still available. They didn't quite catch him in the static storm, so is it just a haunt for vision, and then to try and find that angle on somebody?
The Spectre jumped on Virilio, but then realized he was in too deep, threw a dagger, and walked off into the bushes before he could get jeweled or something like that.
Okay, that is
There
G.
is
She finds the chains
inside
on
in the
two.
vision.
Turn around, vacuum is there, but it bursts down one, looking for another double chains.
A reminder, this is in the vision that Empire thought
Yeah.
Vega didn't have. So there you
Definitely
see
worth
the value
it.
of putting a double ward down.
They already had the creep wave here, so nice little pressy attack and the catapult. Siege creep helping out, and that's another dead tier 2.
Dire's middle
Only
tower
one
has
altitude tower remaining now for Team Empire, and this is looking more and more like game number 1, where Vega could just go from tower to tower, and Empire just cannot feel comfortable fighting just yet. They had that combo, but they missed it on a single hero.
They were very dependent. Yeah, he's looking for the second ward now.
Yeah.
Like, I know you got another one. You tricked me.
He's gotta find it now. So smart sentry positioning catches both that particular ward spot as well as the other one further down. So King R, once he has that connect field up. Oh, that is
I
actually
use
the
a courier
courier.
for
Yeah.
vision.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Also gonna do the
And-
trick.
But the damage is already done, really.
Oh yeah.
They have no towers of their own. Like, even King R keeping that pressure up on the bot lane has only brought it down to half health. There is...
They might catch Sioma here. Shrine is up here if he can actually make his way there in time. Gets a glimpse away though. Nicely played there from King R, but now, bit of a turnaround potential here as G. Walks in, can find the chains on one, TP out, and it's not gonna be fast enough. Easy kill, and the duel can come out, perhaps,
no,
but
the
doesn't actually
duel
get
was
it
used
off.
on Chappie in mid lane.
Oh wow.
Dire's top tower
So
is
it's
under
down.
attack.
Damn.
And
Didn't
Chappie
notice
escaped
that.
once again with a sliver of health. He's going on top. But he really should... Oh!
That was an Omni Slash to no effect whatsoever, so the real use actually dead.
Well, he...
What's even happening? Okay, G finds the kill. I don't even know what's going on. I really don't know. Is a kill there, then
He was
there,
still
and then
running
there?
off.
Like,
So the Juggernaut was split pushing, and the Haunt was basically used to just dodge the last couple of Omni Slash jumps. So Chappie was once again very nearly dead, but he managed to get out with quick thinking, and then the Juggernaut is in over his head. But no duel win for Afterlife there, and then no duel for the follow-up scrambling. And a lot of this has to do with the Empire vision in the Radiant jungle. They're like, we don't care that we don't got any towers, we will just
Look at this.
go in there anyway.
This could be a really big kill thing. You gotta take start off with the silence into the static storm. That looks like a dead Ember Spirit, and it is. They get the Juggernaut, they followed up with an Ember Spirit kill just a minute later. Afterlife made rotation through here now. Well, he's gonna go for a kill of his own. The Real with the extra damage, they barely get the duel win. So, kind of limit the impact that that kill can have going forward here. Because once again, Empire, they get the kill, but they have no way of actually turning it into a tower. All tier 1 still alive and kicking for Vega.
No towers up for Empire. We've seen that game before,
Yep.
but this time Vega have a 10k gold lead. That's all tower money right there.
Yep.
And Chappie is moving on into the Radiance, and I'm really concerned that he's not going to get it. Honestly, I think he should buy a Yasha and just keep fighting. Yasha, Blade Mail, keep going, keep going. He
Almost to the
is
point
going
again
to be...
where Vega can just say, alright, screw it, let's take Roche, let's go high ground. And the big difference compared to game number 1 is, for Team Empire, that they do still have that teamfight wombo combo available. So Vega definitely have to watch out for that. At the same time, they have some blinks of their own. And if they really want to force high ground anytime soon, they'll also start building BKBs on Afterlife.
That's 2 blink daggers. Yeah, so one of them can go in and the other one can follow up later.
Smoke
And-
up, they want to fight around the storage pit here. The split is already there from Vega. That is vacuum back into wall, into the stack storm on 2. Beautiful fissure though to try and turn this around, but just not enough damage to follow up here. The Real last man standing gets glimpsed back right into the pit, into another stone there from push here. There's someone now, G, finally making an appearance here, turning this around onto 2. Now looking for more. Chappie starting to burn. But FN still very much alive and kicking. He has a Desolator to chew through the Embers, but will get the kill. Triple for FN. And that was not quite as impactful from Vega as they had hoped. They only get the 2 supports, but FN. Well, showing us what he can do on a Templar Assassin. And G's rage quitting.
They were...
Sad face.
They were just not ready for Empire to say, alright, we go for... like, this could have been the last fight that Empire had in them. But they make use of the fact that Vega is all clustered. They don't take the distance on their Earth Shaker to like make sure that he can re-engage. So at the time that they go in, he's in the middle of it and he has to walk out to get his blink dagger up and try and re-engage back into it. But by that time, it's just too late.
Yep. Also get Roshan at the same time here. They could get Frostbite up on the Templar Assassin. Search forward, but catch him with a duel. That's gonna be a duel win, as well as the Aegis taken on immediately here. They're not gonna stick around for too long. Because Empire might just be ready to counter-initiate it there, but at the very least limiting the damage. They still want to do it for themselves, obviously, but...
Yeah, that they can't go high ground as easily now, but they did limit the damage that was done in that team fight. Although, look at that, that's a relic up on Chappie.
Yep.
His gamble paid off.
G will
He
figure
might
that
be
out
dead.
here, trying to go for the kill. Last remnant used to try and burst him down further, and the fissure just in time, but now the silence to turn us around. Chappie's actually still alive. He
And
pushed
this
out with the
mech
roll in,
was-
just at the right time. Yeah, the mech too.
Empire is saying, no, we got some momentum, and we're gonna keep it. Chappie, this is like his
Top tower is
4th
under attack.
escape. He got out on a sliver of health, like at top lane, at a mid duel. He's just been so hard to kill, even though it really shouldn't be that big of a problem. He's just an underfarmed Spectre.
It's not gonna be on the
So
farm for too long here. Once you have that radiance up and running, your farm speed increases rapidly. So he's gonna start catching up, and in the meantime, you still have this Templar Assassin who's about 1.5k ahead of the next highest farm on the side of Vega, who has the Blink Death, so it's very dangerous to almost all of Vega's heroes, really.
he can blow up anyone.
Yep.
And Vega pressure with 3 here. They gotta be very wary that if they get caught before they're set up, they will...
So there was Silence on Juggernaut here, the stun will miss, an Echo Slam here, a lot of damage being done to Spectre, and this time around with the duel as well as the Omni Slash. A lot of committal to finally bring down that Behemoth, and with that they're gonna look for this opening to the high ground, maybe enforce the buyback haunt. But if they're not careful, they might still lose heavily to it. Yeah, there's very well spread for now with the Static Storm, and in fact if they can get Disruptor here, they don't have to care about that, but he gets it off instead. Ember Spirit though, not dying to vacuum into the wall. No follow up.
They need to get out. Offenders coming in and he has a fresh BKB.
Yeah. Comes back here into the silence, mantas it off, FN forced to throw out the BKB, so it is a defense. It's a very costly one though.
Dire's middle tower.
BKB used.
They're out just in time.
Static Storm, yeah. They don't have to spend Spectre buyback, they don't quite lose their tier 3 just yet, so the shrines are still protected. So overall still a win for Empire, but still very well played from Vega, I want to say. They're just looking for these opportunities, looking for the heroes that can make things worse for them. Just trying to finish up the Disruptor at the beginning of the fight, and then forcing out these spells in a suboptimal fashion.
They can just go again. The big ults are down.
Yeah.
The
30 seconds.
BKB is also not quite up yet.
Spectre's back though. Radiance closing in on that. Only a couple of hundred gold remaining.
Empire is just
yeah.
going to be stalling. I don't think they can save this tower anymore. And are Vega gonna back off of this? Are they pressure on?
G, can I get the kill? You know, Remnant's out. So once again, just try and force out some spells, trying to force out cooldowns. This time it was a mechanism. Static Storm is back online now. They should have timed that well enough.
And once again, a very disciplined back from Vega. They got the tower, they got what they came for. They poke the shrine once and then think better of it and walk on. Because the smoke is coming in. Empire is following.
Yeah. Scan from the
The
Radiant
scan.
will catch it on the edge. So
Right on
they
top
got,
of them.
yeah, they know exactly what Empire is doing right now. Sitting on the high ground here, smoke themselves, now they'll run right into each other. The blink across, BKBs galore, FN doesn't really care, they're still zoning Static Storm if nothing else, to make sure they can get the one kill. Glimpse back on Afterlife. It's always that 3-second pickup that you get when you win a fight with a Disruptor.
Chappie is really low once again. And now it's time for Empire to do the discipline back. Because Chi has those boots to travel. He could just come into that at any second. And Omni Slash is also up.
So how much do these kills really matter in the grand scheme of things? Because, like, they get the kills, sure. But once again, they don't get any towers, they don't really slow down the big cores on the side
Kills
of
are
Vega
time.
too much.
Just time. Anytime you kill someone, they can't really go. But then you gotta, of course, be there to make use of that. So they're gonna sacrifice the shrine instead to get some more farm up. FN got a bit more out of the top lane. Chappie got a bit more out of bot. And this is all about making this game as long as they can make it. If the Spectre gets up there in net worth, you can actually turn this around. Just the TA is not going to be enough. But the TA might be able to carry them to that point if she keeps on being this unstoppable force that she is. Because the thing is, you gotta duel the... like, you probably want to duel the Spectre.
Yes.
Just to burst them down. But Otherwise, you need to go for one of the supports with the counter initiation.
Yeah.
You can't really afford to duel the TA. So she's gonna have pretty free reign in these fights, especially with the BKB.
Yep.
And the question is FN going to be able to make the most out of that opportunity?
I think it's gonna come down to whether Vega can actually find an angle into the backlines like they've been trying to do. They've been trying to pick up the disruptors and the earth spirits before an actual fight breaks out. If they can manage that somehow, then they have a lot more freedom in these fights to go for the duels on the core targets to bring them down. But so far, Empire has been doing quite well for themselves, just keeping in good formation to not be as susceptible to that as they could be.
Vega has broken down both the shrines now, and they're keeping the lane pressure up. There's no free tier 1s in this for Empire, which they did get in the previous games. So holding the line, they got one deep ward out still, and Empire are pretty blind right now. They don't have any vision in the enemy jungle, so they can't go for any smoke plays without doing it blind. And this vision in their own jungle is not nearly enough to actually make them feel secure about what's going on in there. So FN is hiding in the bushes, yeah. He uses a haste route just to go out and farm. And immediately gets punished for it.
Has to pop the BKB and that's gotta hurt. It's the 8-second charge. Very liberal with his BKB usages there, but yeah. Could really tell Empire, the rest of them, it was just huddled up inside their base because they didn't see anyone anywhere. Either on wards or on the lanes for Vega, so this is a point where maybe get a bit paranoid. Okay, are they smoked up? Are they just waiting for us to show our face for a blink duel? What can we afford? How far can we go? Shadowblade and Juggernaut here, giving him a safe exit. Empire is just looking for the bottom lane a little bit.
So, the past couple of minutes, really the only thing they've seen are the real use illusions, sometimes the real you himself, and G. And you
Sioma.
can't really go on G. If you go on him, you have to spend your big ults, all of them, just to kill him. And that's not worth it because Vega will just immediately start pushing for high ground as soon as those abilities are down. So Empire are doing the only possible thing here really by waiting until Vega engages into them. And then they can try and make more use of the wall and the disruptor ult.
Tower goes down, G not opting to show himself to try and prevent that, so he's right back up top of the remnant. They also know that Roshan is up, Sioma did scatter it out just as it spawned. So all they were looking for is to just bring Empire back into their base and then angle around this Roche pit. He goes sick.
Oh.
Could have been a good one here, but the quick blink out there from Afterlife. Preventing the pick off, and now with that vacuum on cooldown, that's all it takes for Vega to feel confident enough to start chipping away at this Roche.
And it seems like Empire don't really know what they want to do. They were standing around a little bit as if they wanted to smoke, but there are no smokes on anyone. And even though Vega is taking this Roche really slowly, putting only the real you in the pit, they are not answering whatsoever.
Problem for Empire right now is that while they have a good tool to get them back into this game, it's going to be hard for them to actually execute it with the way that Vega's playing. They're going to try. The Aegis though in the hands of the Juggernaut Hunt already down here. The Vacuum on 2, they actually bring down Silent first. Yule's up on the Ember Spirit, so he's actually going to be going down. Maybe not just yet. He somewhat keeps himself alive. The duel now turns around Temple Assassin. Actually going to win it though. Gets the BKB off. And it's all of a sudden a complete team fight for Vega. The real you is still alive. But for coming back from the Aegis, brought down with a triple kill from Ghost. What happened here? They only lost the Disruptor.
Vega did that so right up until the last second.
Radiant's middle
The
tower
rush
is
was
under
slow because they were spread out so much. Because they were afraid of, well, this fight
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
And then when the Spectre Haunt comes in,
Radiant's
they
middle tower
panic.
has fallen.
They forget basically everything. There's a great vacuum wall on the backlines from Ghost Stick. And Ember Spirit's down. FN does not die in a duel. Like as I said, you can't duel FN. That's not your target right there.
Afterlife didn't
He
have
has
any help with
full
it.
Bloodthorn
If he
now.
had any sort of help, at least they get the kill. But as it stands, he even wins the duel barely. Gets the BKB off, and then there's just no follow-up. Especially not with the Ember Spirit, one of the highest farming heroes. He was caught in a static storm, so he had no impact in the fight as it went on. And Juggernaut, he was still busy in the pit. He was busy trying to find his way out of there and connect with the rest of his team. So ultimately, so that's the pit ended up costing them, didn't it?
Yeah, it's if they didn't spread out and they just took it immediately, confident that they had enough vision and that Empire wasn't going to go in time, that Roche would have been dead for half a minute already.
Yep.
But they did the smart play and it ended up not working out for them. It was so close though.
Yeah.
The Haunt came in at the last possible second. And they didn't expect it to come anymore. That's the thing. A lot of these fights are mental. They were like, alright, it's nearly done. They will probably already moving on in their minds. And that's when the fight comes in. And all of the plans that you had, you already discarded them because the fight wasn't happening. And now it is happening, and you're panicking.
Yep.
I'm panicking!
What do we do? What do we do? We already lost the Crystal Maiden, who's building, of course, Solar Crest.
Radiant's
Nobody
middle
uses
tower
that.
is under attack.
I've seen it in pubs where enemies would build like 2 of them.
Radiant's
And there go your towers.
fallen.
What you can do is you can stack Medallion and Solar Crests. So if that was the idea, then
That's pretty gimmicky.
yeah, it's not really worth it, really, because you'd rather have another utility item on your team. Like I myself really like the urn on a Crystal Maiden. Super useful in a
Vega
number of
are
different
in
ways, but yeah.
disarray now. They had their game plan all figured out. They held on to their towers. Their lanes were always out. And they lost 4 towers now.
Swiftly to
FN is absolutely huge. He's going to, like, he can just straight up buy the Asha if he feels like it, but he's gonna keep the buyback instead, of course. And this Spectre is looming in the distance.
Slowly keeping up, creeping up to these 2 heroes that are sitting at about 16k and 1.5k ahead of him on the other team.
And now it is Empire that are coming for your towers. And Vega are not set up for this at all. They don't have any vision in the area. They are smoking in now, but they're late. The tower is already down.
Ryu has an Invis rune here. Oh no, Shadowblade, Silver Edge, whatever you want to call it. So he's getting out some of those. The Horn comes through here. They Omni Slash. Well, did a decent amount of work, but ultimately not enough. Spread it against 2 tanky heroes. Duel in the back will be successful though on top end. That's a great start. As G is now trying to clean up here. 2-4 trades so far, gets a chainsaw off on a Ghost Stick, and trying to TP will not be able to complete it. Double kill for the real you now.
That's really crucial. FN just went in too deep
Dire's
there.
middle tower is under attack.
Yes, Vega got the fight on the back lines that they wanted, and even though they lost 2 kills for it, the spin actually went off for the real you. And who cares about vacuum wall if you just spin right through it? And
He certainly
then
doesn't.
Dire's
FN wasn't there to hit
Buyback
him.
even forced out here. They only lost on range racks, not the biggest loss. It's only Doxia
That's a pretty
buyback
big
here.
loss.
If they force FN buyback, then that'd be a much better win, obviously. But only the Juggernaut really pressuring the lane.
They got to keep their last remaining outer tower though, and Afterlife just went in. That's a pretty big, like, again, mentally this is also a pretty big moment because they just got confronted with Empire getting back into the game after looking like they had no chances left whatsoever. And in the next fight they turned it around. So that speaks volumes about their mental resilience. They were like, alright, sure, shit happens, we move on. And they get the backline fight that they needed. G didn't die.
What do you think about his item build this game actually? Do you agree with his Octarine core before BKB or anything like that? Because he still has no real good ways of dealing with the static storm. The Yule Scepter, I guess, is supposed to do that, but it's not lasting long enough for the entire duration.
Yeah, I guess the goal is, and they've been playing like that for a while now, to have him come in later. So he is never there at the start of the fights, which means that they count on Empire using that ability when they get a good opportunity, and not necessarily on G. And when he's not there, you can't see him, you can't target him. So that plus the Yules is supposed to keep him safe. I guess it can work. It's sort of a macro solution to a problem you could also itemize against.
Yep.
So I think I like it. It suits G. He's an aggressive kind of guy. He doesn't like to build the boring king bar.
Yeah. Very confident in his ability to just play around the counters against his hero. So.
Yeah.
Good on him.
it's
Especially when you're
rich
holding on to the
privilege.
gem, right? It's all the more important that you keep yourself safe and not feed it away. As it stands, both teams kinda ready to run at each other. Ready to pull the trigger.
They're looking at that Roshan once again.
But it's spawned in a
Vega,
minute, so it's
no.
a fairly long respawn timer, which gives both of these teams more time to set up and maybe poke and prod a little bit more. Ryu, once again, he's coming in with the Invis. Not going in too deep though.
I guess the delay is in Vega's favor because they can get these lanes out again, but at the same time, I was talking about time before. Spectre. Going to build a hard next. Diffusal blade is up.
Hasn't found
He
too
is
much
going
space
to.
though, especially with the last pickup from Vega, that last team fight that they won. It's kind of fallen behind this little bit again compared to the core. Man, as the hop comes through, they're gonna look for Sioma. The glimpse back away from them actually, but Fen with the blink after will be able to finish off the kill. That should set them up for Roche. There's no buyback on the Surfshaker. It's gonna be
They
dead
are
for
really
30 more
counting on it to
seconds here when
spawn.
it comes back. Even the courier.
Cheeky little check. So they gotta get this mid lane out right now. I don't think it's worth it to wait on the high ground here. No one's gonna show. Gotta get the lane out. Make sure that Vega has to deal with that before they can go in, and the Roche is there. Fast,
It's gonna
fast,
die
fast.
so quickly. Compare that to the way Vega took Roche earlier.
Yeah,
There's no comparison really.
10 seconds versus a minute.
Less than 10 seconds, was it?
Yeah,
If,
probably also less than a minute, but
yeah.
they didn't manage to counter the ward that Sioma gave his life for and gave the Roche for last time though, so that's something. Vega still have their deep vision up, but Empire also get to place down like a half deep ward of their own. So let's see who can make the most use of that.
This game is definitely worthy of being a game 3 decisive match like this. Or if you just
Neither
tune
of these
again,
teams
if
are
you...
letting go.
What?
Neither of these teams are letting go.
Yeah. course, we really don't want to. It's a big prestigious tournament on the line. If you lose this game, then well, you forfeit your chances of actually attending it. Even if you win this one, you still have some ways to go. Navi next, and then up against Secret for the actual spot.
Secret. That's a really big opponent to have to work your way past.
Yeah, absolutely, but then again, right now, I don't think it's on any of these players' mind.
No, you take this kind of stuff one game at a time. There's a full Mjolnir on the Ryu, and there should also be one on the Ember Spirit soon, unless he's gonna sell it and move into something different. So they are really concerned with keeping these lanes pressured. Oof, that was pretty close. G just narrowly gets away from the kick there.
Invisibility.
She was guard next, so a little bit more AoE. Attack speed slows, useful to have against the Spectre and all the illusions and the event as well. Anyway, you can slow him down, you're gonna take.
So no one has vision of the other guys. Again, are Empire just gonna walk up?
Looks like it, yeah. I'll just say, alright, screw it. Just try and go a bit more aggressively here if you can't find anything. Otherwise, we have all ultimates up and running. Can close the gap if we just find somebody, but yeah, he should be fine.
Oof, that was very close.
He's keeping the lane static at the very least, and meanwhile up top, look at this too. Chappie, he spent a lot of time up here trying to push that out, but he's also not able to get it even close to crossing the river.
At least he doesn't have to show himself in order to push this out. He can send an illusion, but the Ember is already there. And there's no creep wave left on bot, so even though FN wants to threaten the Rex, oh, they're actually going to TP back too. This is, if just G goes, that's fine, but Sioma anticipates FN staying there. And they are waiting for his attempt at split pushing.
Yeah.
He's not going to, so that's a loss for Vega. They can't push top now. You're going to be backing off.
And the smoke will actually
And
break
they're
here. They
running with it,
find initiation onto the Aurelio. Follow up silence with the Orchid, everything. A lot of damage being done in return there with that Mjolnir, but they got the kill and then dawn back to the other side. But that was a BKB, keeping Afterlife safe against most of that damage. So we only get the one, but it's an important hero to get the highest farmed one, in fact, on the side of Vega. Can they get anything else off of this though? Maybe they can set up for some sort of push in the mid lane, but the Aegis seem going to expire soon. Because they spent so much time trying to set up for this.
Probably should just throw a Fen at Dirax and make sure that if anything happens... Oh!
Okay, Ghost Scepter, keeping it safe for now, as well as the Pressy attack. A bit of a botch initiation.
Sioma risking the game there.
Well, Evan gonna use the Aegis now. I think that's a Radiant Ward sitting inside the racks now, so very hard to de-ward even, but Evan comes back from the Aegis, pops a BKB, unwilling to really go on deeper though.
They didn't manage to get the buyback out, and he is respawning soon, so if they engage now, they risk him getting back into the game. And once again, a very disciplined back.
What surge is this?
Is G? Oh. He is out of there.
Yep. This is so silly. They must see this ward, right? But once again, even if they want this one, there's still this one sitting there on the side. They might not expect. So Empire at least setting themselves up for a successful high ground push. But the question is whether they can actually get there again anytime soon without the Aegis in hand.
Radiant wards, man. I don't know why they're there.
Yeah.
So I guess like the ward over on the side I can get, because sometimes you need that vision up on your own high ground to see their backlines. But the one that's like in the racks,
Just anticipating
I
the
don't
tower going
know.
down already, but even then, how far does it see? Just past this thing.
That
It's
must
not
be a
really that
misclick.
much extra. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just a misclick. Maybe just thinking way too much about this. Yeah. Who knows, really?
I'm gonna check out the replay when we're done. I do want to know how the thing ended up there. The Aurelio is in place for FN. Did he see him?
What's close there?
Nighttime vision keeping FN safe.
Oh, they see him now. See him. He has a gem in hand. Now, Fissure. Actually bring him down. Omnislash here after bouncing through that refraction here. Not enough damage. There it is. Vacuum, Echo Slam, and all the ultimates being used. But FN, the benefactor of that. Silent with his own ultimate, not enough to actually keep them away. Even put the scare into them. They just don't care. Just kill them. Now, 3
Him
heroes
surviving
down,
the
2 of
Omnislash
which have no
is-
buybacks. So Empire,
Ooh.
they're gonna take this opportunity to push down the bottom lane. We'll have creep waves soon enough. Earthshaker will be back in 20 seconds. No silent though, and well, unless they can get this kill, they're gonna have to buy back
And
on
then
Juggernaut, but duel still going in. Not much damage to follow up here after the Stack Stormers couldn't come out, so they get that kill.
They use the Juggernaut buyback for it. Are like, alright, this TA's BKB is down, we gotta go now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get to duel, but at least they kill him at the end, and
Yeah.
that's gonna save their racks.
Only just. It was so close actually to being so much better for Empire. Still got something out of it, but yeah, this defense overall still super impressive for Vega, considering that this game looked so much different 20 minutes ago. If you look at the graphs.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Vega was ahead by so much. And the first Roche fight, then a second round of pickoffs, and Empire just stay in it. And they are really not with their backs against the wall anymore. The Spectre has finally arrived, and Fen is still sitting atop of the net worth lead as he has been for the past, well, half hour.
Pretty much. Been there for a while.
And they still have both lanes pressured out. No, the mid lane not, but they still have the bot lane pressured out pretty well.
Afterlife actually been gone on by Chappie
So
here
far
as he
forward.
links in to try and get rid of the creep. If he hasn't popped the BKB just to walk away. Is he able to bait Empire in further here? There's plenty of help on the way, but there it is Chappie. Actually calling the bluff, coming through with the heart, nice little stone into the vacuum, Echo Slam to try and turn us around though. Not gonna be enough. Earthsplit even still staying alive, so if G comes in, Static Storm will actually catch him in the end? Not sure. Omnislash will end. They'll bring down everybody. Silent with his ultimate in the back. Good enough, so far so good, but Chappie's still alive, doing a lot of damage with the dispersion. It's G, who's ultimately the main man of the match of this particular team fight. Securing himself a triple kill and completing that 5-man wipe, going the other way, Empire.
That was really close. And that's actually a dieback on the LC. Empire just chased, they know the BKB is out. They know they can get the stuns off, and G gets really uncomfortably close to remnanting himself right into the Static Storm. But he goes through instead. And that makes all of the difference in the world as he gets to clean up. And that really clustered fight, there were so many lightning bounces, both from him and from the real you.
Yeah. Speaking of lightning, it's going to be more of that as he just completes his Mjolnir, and after that still holding on to buyback gold. So.
But it did cost them another buyback.
Yep. They're gonna look to try and force out some of their own now. There's one on Ghost Stick. They want FN or Chappie if they can get it. Viking are back in the fight. You have Glimpse back. No static stun being used here. It's only silent. Don't actually want to throw down that big of an ultimate just for Crystal Maiden. As a result, he stays alive.
Crystal Maiden with a Crimson Guard, though. Like, she is very tanky. That's not just an easy little snack. So,
Very unconventional item build because it's working for him.
like, alright, Solar Crest, flavor of the month, right? Drums?
Yeah.
Team item, sure. Crimson Guard?
Also team item, so might not go all the way. Right?
I'm surprised he has the money actually, but
Yeah.
I guess that gold per minute talent will do that for you. The game has gone long enough that the Crystal Maiden is nearing level 25.
And Roshan's, I believe, the 4th Roche of the game now. Gonna be the next target once again for both of these teams. Try and secure and hold on to perhaps, and maybe even going high ground with it.
Both
None of
teams
it
know
seems
it's up.
guaranteed right now. Empire
And
coming
Empire's
from the
just-
north.
Yeah, they've just taken down Vega's Vision. So they've got the advantage here. But the question is, do you want to go in and commit to it?
Well, we wait for
Oh,
something
we
like
get
that.
the
The Hex
opening.
comes out, the Haunt as well, BKBs from everywhere. And yeah, looks like Vacuum into the wall. So it looks like Empire is gonna get some of the spells on the right target. So support Standard Rhino as well already. So no more follow control, the duel. Apart from that though, of course, and they're actually gonna win it. Maybe there it is, Afterlife and G together. Bring down a fan and Chappie, well, he's strong, not quite strong enough to prevent that from happening. And now he's being rooted up. They get the kill on Afterlife again, but what cost? Chappie. Hearts, not enough to save, and the buyback from a fan as well. Didn't have a TP to actually throw out. I think got cancelled on a creep or
Vega's
something.
gonna shrine up.
Yeah.
What's FN gonna do? He bought back for this? Is he just gonna farm? Ah, man. That's not where you wanna be.
It's calculation, yeah. I think if he immediately TP's back. But
Like,
then again,
it's
there's no shrine to
better
TP to
because if he-
safely, so the creep got killed, I
If he
believe.
goes there, he dies.
Yeah, now, of course.
So...
It's a very hard call to make in these kind of late game situations. First to buy back,
They
and
gave
then
up the rush.
do I go back in now? It's just a matter of seconds, or even less than that at times.
I feel like without the jewel, if they go in, buy back, there's no haunt, that's it. If they had another haunt, they would have for sure gone for the buyback haunt play there. But they don't. So they gotta give up the rush. And all there's left to do is split push.
Yep.
And Vega is gonna outsplit push you every time with these with the travel.
She's able to take care of bottom. Top lane is pushing in to Empire's base, obviously, thanks to that main tracks being down from a long time ago, it feels like. So now middle lane,
Those were
the tier
different
3
times.
also being chipped away at. Empire not even not even dragging the creeps away. That's how scared they are to even approach it on tier 3.
All of their vision is around Roche. They have no way to know what Vega is up to right now. And they know they have one more fight in them. One more high ground defense. So G's gonna push in his bottom lane all the way. And then I presume Vega is just going to put the real you up on the high ground, have him hit those buildings, and wait for the opportunity to go in.
You do have buyback on Spectre, so it could potentially be the trump card. They're gonna have to play with Vega Squadron, ends up being slightly overextended, but so far they haven't done too much of that, at least when it comes to high ground.
And
So
Vega
yeah,
have
playing
been
very safe.
saving their jewel for FN.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time, as soon as his BKB is out, they commit to jewel. And if they get that TA, her buyback is down. That's the majority of Empire's damage, so he has to be really careful. Look at how far up Darilio is. His team is not even close. He's got
He's just acting
Adrian.
like they are.
He's got Shadowblade.
Yeah, it's
Feeling
just
good.
mind games right now.
For all Empire know, Vega is right behind him.
Kind of reveal that they're smoked up here with Silence throwing out a couple of spells, but it's still not exactly sure of the exact positioning of some of these heroes, and that might be the difference making, especially if Afterlife can get an initiation on a crucial target. Only see Chappie, it's not the one that you want to duel. Still very tanky, 4k health, max level. Bottom lane's also being pushed in now, since all three lanes pressing onto the high ground. Empire is gonna start to feel stretched thin. It's waiting for the fight to break out here and turn it completely confusing. As the last couple of fights have
Really
been. But
goes
yeah,
in on the range racks.
I'll take that, get stunned up. If they can trigger the Sages, that'd be a great start, but well, right like I said, there are a lot of damage being done to the Spectre here. The only slash not bouncing back to him here, but G able to follow up with that bit of extra burst, but no. Tanky enough. Now, well, Static Storm to follow up that Aegis respawns. Juggernaut. Don't tell me he's not dying here. Glimpse, well, he'll be able to spin that one off. Ghost Dig with the wall, no vacuum to bring anyone in. It's only G in the front lines here with his own BKB, slowed down, trying to find the damage here. Okay, Chappie. A lot of stuns being thrown up. I mean, Push got to keep him safe, so they get the two supports. G, man fight up against Chappie. The duel comes out in the back here, ready to go. FN slipped away at Pushka, pushes Afterlife away. But that just means that Juggernaut is free to secure the kill. Another one double for him. He finally turns it around here as he's sitting at 40 health points. And he's next up, run down by Ghostic. Buybacks every which way. TB back home. Yeah. I've lost track of what happened in that fight. I have no idea. But Empire,
Vega
they
held on to
hold.
that duel for so long. They really wanted FN, and they got him in the end. But it cost them a lot of heroes. And
Well,
Chappie had to buy back. All of the lanes are still in. Empire cannot do too much with this victory here. But
they held, but not much more. Vega Squadron is still in control of the game if they realize it. They're still holding on to the buybacks of their own. Afterlife has it back. And Juggernaut actually just spent some of his money.
so the only one with buyback is Afterlife.
Never mind, he also spent his money, so... Either that means that they don't care about buybacks anymore, or it means that they're gonna take it slower once again and just get the next run of items, farm out buybacks, and then go.
Both teams are going to be looking at Roche again. Especially when the buybacks are down, that's such a big piece of insurance.
Okay, this could be a big pick off here. Ghosting with a Hex. Follow there from Pushka. Nice little Fissure to try and turn this around, but Afterlife gets a BKB off before a Static Storm. Somehow. So important.
And they leave their courier just hanging there.
Yep. It's a very self-sufficient courier. He wants to fight too.
Very close.
Wants to help out his team.
If Afterlife doesn't get to BKB there, that's probably game. But instead he gets out. I guess Vega gets to have some miraculous escapes of their own after Chappie has gotten away from them so many times. And Chappie has just sold his boots and is flying in a butterfly. He is nearing maximum carry status.
Yeah. It's not close enough to the butterfly. Just the Talisman of Evasion for now. Just have that value up against these right-clicky heavy heroes. Legion Commander, obviously, at this point. Decent
Oh man,
physical
he didn't have the
damage, but
full
also
thing yet.
Juggernaut with his high attack damage and attack speed.
So we're basically back to where we were 5 minutes ago. Empire are defending high ground. Vega is going to be pushing in all of these lanes once again. And neither of them can go for rush yet, but Vega will obviously be in a better position because they have all of the lane pressure. And Empire, at least they got their buybacks back. They have one on
Oh,
Ghost Stick, they have one on FN.
Sioma gets a curious name. That was the butterfly on it, actually, from Chappie. So he pulled the trigger on the purchase, but now it's gonna be down for 3 minutes. Not gonna have that.
Yeah, they will be sitting up in that fortress for the next 3 minutes. Oh, are they? They're smoking. They're actually doing it. Walking towards their vision. Up on the high ground, trying to get that control, trying to get that snipe.
Okay, there it is.
This is the
And
unexpected move.
Big on the low ground here. BKBs come out. Static Storm kind of off the mark. Here's Chappie kind of glimpses back and forth. The duel comes out. They get the Ghost Stick. G is actually the one who, yeah, starting to take over this fight. The glimpse back on Afterlife to keep him away, but they find the lockdown on Spectre in the back. Omnislash on Event. He's forced to buy back. Sticking back in. Nice little stone there on 3 heroes somehow. So Empire, they're still fighting. Didn't quite actually have the damage to finish off Chappie just yet, so he's still doing work. Afterlife now focusing on it for the right clicks, and there it is, the real you taking it over. Good vacuum, but no follow-up really. Afterlife still alive, the real you in the midst of that, just having a time of his life. Right clicking
Oh, and
away
Event
time after
finally
time,
gets
and
the kill.
Ghosting. That should be a dieback too. He's no more help of note. Somehow he finds the blink out, but I don't think it matters. 3 heroes are
But
down,
only
2
Static
of those
Storm.
are the damage dealers. It's no Templar Assassin, there's no Spectre for another 100 seconds, whereas for Vega, sure, they've lost G, but they still have the Juggernaut ready to right click and do some damage to the base. They can win the game right here, right now, and they should
I
realize it
think-
too. Yeah, going straight for the tier 4s, and it's going to be down to Empire support lineup to throw down one more combo perhaps. And Vega Squadron having enough respect for it.
Cliff it up.
Yes, Hex, vacuum, wall into Static Storm, that's what we're talking about. Sioma at the same time, preventing King off from throwing out
Well.
anything else, but they do actually get the Juggernaut, they get the glimpse back in Sioma. Didn't think they'd have the damage in them, but apparently I was wrong.
I am very surprised as well, but with neither of those heroes getting their BKBs off in time, they just melt to the combined damage of the Static Storm and the Vac Wall.
So ultimately, Vega, with all of that's happened, they only get the 1 melee racks, they didn't even go for the top lane, instead they tried to finish up the tier 3 bottom. So,
I would like
oh, man.
to say here, what is this game?
This is also another
We
gem,
pushed, got
just
finds an extra
casually
gem.
sitting
Yeah.
there that everyone forgot about. Push got
And
break
he
for
hasn't
that one.
actually, he hasn't actually managed to find any of the low ground wards that Vega have just sitting around. But yeah, they get to push out the mid lane again. FN and the Spectre are both nearly back up again. And game has reset. Roche is up. And yeah, Empire are just gonna go for this.
Yep.
They can't wait.
One difference is that I guess FN buyback status. Fan and Ghost Stick, both of them are at 4 minutes or so. Spectre's gonna have it off cooldown in a moment. He still needs a lot of money though, so all intents and purposes not ready just yet. They will get the Aegis though onto FN. They also have the cheese to work with, so that'll offset some of these buyback questions. Look at Vega though, they have it in Juggernaut as well as G, so 2 of the most important ones. Afterlife, short of 1,000 gold.
At least the Spectre has her full butterfly now.
Yep.
Man, I'm getting tired. A butterfly? Really?
Well, all that's
I
left
think-
now is Moonshot, isn't it?
Yeah, Moonshot for FN. Moonshot for Chappie. But I think a lot of these team fights are gonna depend on where the disruptor is gonna land the static storm. And if he lands it in time. Keeping those BKBs out is so crucial.
This could be an Empire. Smoked up again. Last time it didn't work out as well as they had hoped. That was when they had the high ground advantage. Right now, Vega sitting in a decent position. The entire lineup to respond to this. If they want to here. They know something is amiss. Might have even seen that smoke here. With their aggressive wards. They decide not to take a fight outside of base now. Not against Aegis and Cheese.
They give away their high ground position, and they are now in danger of getting chased down if they don't get up fast enough again. No, they're up, they're safe. Empire can't chase this.
This will do nicely.
Such an
But
intense game.
this
I
is-
mean,
this
okay,
is
that is
Empire
the stun to
defending
start off
really
with into
well.
the Static Storm here. They get G. Does have buyback if he needs it. So far, holding on to it. The rest of Empire chasing for more as Vega pops a BKB now. The duel, they get it on Darkseer, so it's him down the drain. Chappie, it takes the Omni Slash here, and the nice little Fissure in the back. Omni Slash from transfer. King Army Poshka, both of them die. The Echo Slam gets off still. Also catching the Temple Assassin as FN pops a BKB. There's like 3-4 heroes around him that he has to deal with, and he just doesn't have the power. Aegis will be triggered. Chappie trying to find a place in this particular team fight here. Poshka blinks back in after buying back and TPing into the fray, but that's a dieback as well for him. At the very least, get the Fen alive. Can they cancel the TP? No, they can. They'll have to settle for Chappie instead, which is just as well. Can't get the cheese off. So he buys back immediately just to try and defend, try and keep the lanes pushed out. Once again, this is Empire taking a team fight, but they didn't. They chased too deep. They didn't find the angle, and Vega had enough time to collect themselves and go for the counterplays.
You got to fight there, though. You have to fight as far away from your base as possible, because if you lose the fight like this, close to your base, game's over. Whereas in this case, they have to walk all the way up to this top lane, and Spectre is going to be able to keep it at bay at least a little bit with these illusions over here.
Yep. Have the illusions to work with, and Vega not all that healthy in all of the heroes. But what still stands, Empire, all they have to work with is the damage as well as the control
It's
from
going to
the
be a static
disruptor.
storm.
Yeah, that's all they have though. They
If
don't
he
have
gets
Imposhka,
the
who has
static
been
storm again,
but don't have Imposhka to help set up to help create chaos in the fight. I mean, his Earth Split has been off the charts this game. I want to say. I mean, they've always seen like stones crushing throughout all stages in the team fight, just fighting 2 or 3 heroes very consistently. So you don't have that available. You don't have the vacuum to put put people back into the Static Storm.
his
It's definitely hard.
dieback really hurts there, though.
Yeah.
Like, he does manage to save the life of FN, but they lack stuns right now. So no way to set up on anyone. They are really dependent on Vega getting themselves into the wrong position so that they can get static stormed. You can't force it. So they should be discussing what they are gonna give up and what they are going to defend right now.
So you are being healed up a little bit by Afterlife. Should at the very least get this top racks. But
yeah,
the
it's
more
time
they
to
spend,
finally finish what they started an hour ago.
That's gonna go down. They're drawing the line here. They want to finish up the Sparums at the racks. They have about 30 seconds till Ghost Dig is back in the land of the living. So they're scrambling right now. TP in from G. This tier 3 should at the very least fall as well. Don't think Empire really wants to give up the Mega Creeps just yet. King R even got himself a Shadowjam earlier to try and inch closer and closer and wait for the perfect Static Storm. But the BKB perfectly timed it from Juggernaut before the spin even ends, so he's not doesn't care about that at all. Sioma
He
even
saw
finds
that
King on
coming.
the side, so that's gonna be that disruptor. Dual win even for Afterlife. Maybe overkill. Maybe you want to hold on to the duel at this point for a crucial target. But that play from the real you, just popping the BKB at the right time, just as the spin ended, secured them the mega creeps, and now, once again, very much a disciplined falling back and just resetting as some of these extra heroes come back alive from Team Empire. And look at this though. Ah, that double damage is just too good to pass up. They smoke up, grab that on Juggernaut. They can find FN here, then Empire might as well call
Darkseer
GG.
has
Oh, he
officially
doesn't
broken.
know. And the Echo Slam, everything being dropped. He's down. He doesn't buyback.
Oh,
Has to
buyback.
use it now. Just barely came off cooldown a moment ago. Shrines are gonna start falling. Ryu still has his Omni Slash to throw out whenever he wants to, but spinning down these towers, objective-based gaming. It's gonna be down to Empire to make something happen. BKB comes out, Ghostig, vacuum into the Static Storm on 2, Silent pops a BKB in time though. Same for FN, who's now managing up, having a hard time actually bringing down his Crystal Maiden. Finally does it here, buyback now from Afterlife. Meanwhile though, G is fighting with the Disruptor in his side. They did bring down the Juggernaut though. So the defense is real. Empire somehow hold one more time.
Still holding. I'm not sure if the Juggernaut should have turned back there and walked back into the fight. He was not really going to achieve anything, and he could have had some real damage on the throne there.
God damn
He
it.
hit so hard.
We're at this
But
point in the
instead he
game.
walked in, he dies.
Look at Ghostig, his particles are freaking out.
Yeah, I was actually watching the shiny particles fly around while FN died. So I was like, what? FN is dead? But I was looking at this bunch of fireworks just walking around.
What particles are those anyway? Is it like something from the Ember? I don't know.
They look like Jakiro to me. The fire
Oh god.
trap.
I got so distracted by the game breaking that we push ends up dying. So this is still looking like Vega's game more and more. With every single time they just got a little bit more off of these team fights. As a result, they got themselves up to 30k net worth advantage. But the question is how much of that net worth advantage actually matters, right? You look at the Juggernaut, you have a Moonshot on him, which is great and all, but it's just overall one of the least cost-efficient items, especially if you need it. I mean, it's like 60 attack speed for 4k gold. Then he also has a Manta Star in his backpack, so it's not in his active inventory. Look at G, he has a Dagon. Leveling that up, also sitting in his backpack right now. Alright, that is BKB's come out with the duel here. Lead Commander is gonna win that one up against FN, and this should be it. He's not coming back anytime soon, unless Chappie can turn us around. They get the Juggernaut again, and they also get the Legion Commander. It's dieback at him at the very least, but the damage is already done. Chappie, last man standing, up against the rest of Vega, who are strong enough to win this team fight and strong enough to win the game. Well, after all, the GG is called. And it is Vega who will move on here in the Epicenter qualifiers and face up against Navi in the lower bracket finals.
Empire gave them a run for their money. Dear Lord.
Absolutely.
I was very sure that after they lose that Roche fight, their morale is just going to break. They can get back into it. But they immediately fixed the problem and they just keep on pressuring. Empire fight for every inch, but Vega just keep on moving upwards, and they are the ones with the building damage.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a difference in the end there.
Yeah.
Also, the way they played that out, the way they discussed their fights, so G going in later so that he is not the one getting hit by all of these disables, holding on to the jewel for when offense PKB is out, all those decisions made Vega look just a little bit more coherent than Empire, who they landed some magnificent disable combos and they got really far on that. But it was clear that that was the only way they were thinking about fights. We gotta
Yeah,
land this. We gotta land this.
it's,
And
it's the only thing
Vega
they had.
just is a
Yeah.
little bit better.
And Vega did just enough to offset that in such a way that Empire didn't win these team fights enough, or resoundingly enough, I should say, that they could actually transition that into towers. Right, we've seen that time and time again, not just in this game, but also in the previously in the series, where Empire, even if they won team fights, they couldn't transition that into objectives. So Vega Squadron got a lot more time and a lot more space to continue their own path and ultimately just continue outplaying Empire in in these late game scenarios. So
Very well done by them. I'm
yeah,
very impressed by their decision making.
definitely a much deserved victory for them. For Empire, unfortunately, that means that they're out of the running here for the Epicenter qualifiers. It also means that we're done for the day. There's going to be more Epicenter later. Let me just double check. That's actually going